Welcome to episode 3 of the Shoulder Button Boys. My name is Ryan Johnson. Just to give you a rundown on what the show is about, it's a video game podcast. Talk about everything video game related. Today we've got a pretty big show. A lot of news from Gamescom, Sleeping Dogs, and other topics from Sony and EA. With me today, we have a very new guest. Been causing some problems already. Aaron Gallagher.
Hello.
We have Matt Lawrence.
Hello.
Adriano Petty.
Hello.
And Marty Isaacs.
Hello.
So we'd like to start off basically telling people what we are currently playing on any gaming device. We'll start with Aaron.
I've been recently getting into Dark Souls, and it's just as difficult as everyone says it is. You really need a lot of patience. I find you need a lot of patience for it. Just getting through the levels, the bosses, it's ridiculous. Anyone who can actually beat it without a guide, it's just, I give them a little bit of respect.
Are you using guides?
I had to once. There was a door I did not know existed in the game, and I could not figure out where to go.
Okay. All right, Matt Lawrence, what are you up to?
I'm playing some Chinatown Wars, Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars on my DS. Picked that up really cheap at GameStop. Some good
That's
stuff.
a DS title, not a 3DS title?
Yeah, it's a little bit older because
Yeah.
it was on PSP and that as well.
I believe it's also an iOS title too.
Yeah, it might be now. They ported it to a lot of things,
Mhm.
but it's good. Some good stuff going on there. Kind of a bit broken in terms of the currency though. I've been, as you know, in Grand Theft Auto, the missions kind of progressively go. So mission pass $50, $50, and then you eventually get 10,000, whatever. But I'm at like mission 2 or something like that, and I have like 40 grand because all I do is do the side drug trade. So I mean, a
Sounds
little
very
bit broken.
Okay, Adriano.
I just started episode 2 of The Walking Dead from Telltale Games.
Yeah.
And it's nothing special.
Nothing special.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets better.
Mm.
Yeah. Marty?
I was trying to become the resident app review guy, but
You failed this week.
yes,
Falling behind.
yes, I'm falling behind. My balance is $3.02,
You got plenty of money right here. Look.
You got your
and,
change.
and a game was $2.99,
Just put that into your iPad.
and Apple wouldn't give it to me because of tax reasons.
That's very sad, actually.
It's a
It's a
little
sad
bit,
story.
It's a little bit depressing.
3 cents short.
Yeah. Was it 3 cents short?
I
No,
don't
he had 3 cents over. Just they didn't, it was $2.99 plus tax, and he couldn't do
know.
it.
I didn't know there was tax till today.
Okay, our first topic for today, somewhat breaking news. It's about OnLive, and Matt Lawrence knows all about this.
Yeah, I was looking into some stuff, some allegations, of course, with OnLive. As we know, they're kind of like the precursor to Steam, I guess, and they're still in existence, of course. But anyway, basically, there was a lot of rumors in that. There was some emails shoved around from different staff members saying that OnLive had literally just completely all hands on deck gone, fired all employees or laid off, however you want to say it, company completely gone. But after people inquired, like IGN inquired, they said, no, we're not going to comment on any of that, but our games will still be live. Our services will still be live. So anyway, latest development as of a couple of hours ago basically stated that OnLive is being acquired by, don't know, but acquired. All
some
online.
random company, we don't know what company that is.
We don't
yet.
know. They said it's going to be acquired and it's being reformed. So whether that means another stockholder, maybe it could be just OnLive again, another stockholder, another investor. We don't know what's going on. They haven't said specifics. Basically, it's been reacquired. Most staff has been rehired. There's a lot of funding now. They said they're going to be hiring most of their people back, as I said, but they're also going to be hiring more people. And they said that all devices, services, and everything that OnLive Incorporated had will still be there. There's no word on who bought it or whether it's just being reformed under OnLive again. They just kind of like clean slate. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, if you have OnLive, you're safe, but we don't know what's going on for the future, right?
Yeah. Now, what do you think this all happened? Because just to give people a little rundown on what OnLive is, in case you don't know, it was a streaming gaming service. You don't actually have the games like on a disc or anything. Basically, it streams to your console, their console, over the internet. And they have an iPad app and stuff. You can buy a controller and actually play with the controller on your iPad. But why do you think they kind of went bankrupt? Like, they seem to be like kind of ahead of the curve in terms of the future of gaming.
I think it was marketing. A lot of companies kind of suffer from. I think I never heard from OnLive other than once on the Tech Channel, and then basically now. So this is, I've looked it up once myself, kind of saw some games, and they looked, pretty up to date. Like, they're not behind by any means. They don't have like old games or anything like that. But I mean, you need to market yourself. Like, as like Steam is Valve, so they have a huge fan base. You can rely on just the internet to kind of get the word out. But you need to really market. If you're a new company, the new service, back then it was new. Like, streaming was like, you could stream to your TV. Now I don't need this like amazing PC. I can just stream my game. I just need a decent internet connection. That was amazing. But
See, I think that's one of the problems is that in North America we don't have the best internet connections at an
That's true.
affordable price.
Yeah, and yours sucks.
Hell, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, trying to browse something upstairs is terrible.
It
lot
used
of
to work. I don't know
outages.
what happened to it. We had bad internet. We switched to Bell. It was bad for the first 6 months. We finally got it working, and then now it's crap again. So
Well,
You know you have to bleep out Bell when you say it.
that's all right.
We can't be having that on there.
Okay, that's fine.
You gotta beep.
and then you got to beep out you now too. They said the name.
I kind of dropped the ExploreNet bomb there too. Does that count?
I don't know. It's all good.
Let's not worry about it.
They
Don't
could
worry
use
about
the
it.
extra money. They're not that good.
Pizza.
Hey, you guys
Thanks,
drank
Mario.
any Coca-Cola recently?
Okay, let's move on to Gamescom, which happened this week, and it takes place in Cologne, Germany. A lot of cool things. Now, we did learn a while back that both Microsoft and Nintendo were not going to appear at Gamescom. So it was just Sony, and they kind of kicked butt at Gamescom this year. They had some new titles like Until Dawn, Rain, and what was the last one? They had a few Vita titles as well.
Remember Me? Is that their title?
I don't. That's not.
That's not.
exclusive
That's not
to-
theirs. No.
No, that was Capcom's.
Oh yeah.
The paper one.
Oh yeah. It was showcased with DMC. Remember Me?
Okay, yeah. But yeah, the Vita is actually looking pretty good now. I don't know how much you guys know about the new titles.
I could care less about the Vita.
You
Tear-
care
I
less?
actually don't
Tearaway
care
looks
about it.
cool. Is that what it's called?
Tearaway, yeah, that's from Media Molecule. They made Little Big Planet. I don't know how much of you guys looked into that, but it looks pretty cool.
I'm a fan of Media Molecule, even though they need to stop with
Little Big Planet.
Little Big Planet right now. Glad they're making a new game. I don't know. Little Big Planet karting is. I think it's an unnecessary game since Mod Nation Racers came out.
I haven't played like a karting game since like the PS1. I missed those games. They were fun.
Was it Crash Team Racing?
It was
Yikes.
definitely Crash Team Racing.
Yes.
That's all right then. You stop playing on a high note.
Saw it at the store the other day. I was gonna pick it up for like $10.
Yeah, I saw it at One Up Games in Hamilton.
I've been trying to like rebuild my PS1 collection of games just for nostalgia reasons.
I can't do that.
I bought Resident Evil Director's Cut 2 and 3 all mint condition. Cost me like $120.
Some other Vita games they actually focused on was Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified for the Vita.
Amazing.
If you listened to last week's episode, we talked about how the Vita didn't have a lot of titles and wasn't doing well, and Sony was having trouble with third-party titles. And then come Gamescom, they have a lot of cool games: Tearaway, Call of Duty, Killzone, Mercenaries, Assassin's Creed, which is kind of tied into the new AC3 for 360 and PS3.
I really wish that was available in other.
Sweet, now you care for the Vita, right?
Well, I don't care for the Vita. I care for that title. I really wish that was available.
the
in some
first
other.
female assassin.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if you
Maybe
you'll get it, like, as
maybe one day
DLC.
like an iPad port over.
I don't think they do that.
No, probably not.
Never.
But it would
No.
be amazing though.
Sony probably has a lockdown already. Speaking of Call of Duty, they also had regular console Call of Duty, Black Ops multiplayer stuff. Aaron knows somewhat about that. Tell us what you know.
Well, they've been trying to separate themselves from Infinity Ward a lot. They're trying to make big changes. They recognize that people are complaining that Call of Duty doesn't change each year. So from what I can tell, they listen to this. They're adding new things, and one of the biggest things they're adding is they're breaking down the creative class and doing it all over. And the way they're doing it is a 10 slot system, and so you can choose 10 items, and you can customize it a lot of different ways. Like you could choose. Like you're basically given 10 choices of things you want. So you could have a gun, 2 attachments, 3 perks, equipment, and all that adds up to 10 slots. Or you could say, okay, I don't want any attachments on my main gun. I don't want a secondary gun, but I'm going to use those points I saved to get 2 extra perks or 3 extra perks.
Now here's a question: is it, since you're saying points, are there slots or are there points so where like if I use like the pro version of like firing or stopping power, I guess it was called back in the day, would that take 2 points?
They're actually removing pro versions of all the perks.
Okay.
So it's just every perk is 1 point, and they're introducing something called wild cards too. Didn't quite look into that, but it allows you to, how they say it's like bend the rules of the game, so you can have 3 attachments. You could use one of the points to get a wild card, and then put a 3rd attachment on a gun, or 2 tier 1 perks, 2 tier 2 perks. You could have extra lethal or extra tacticals. It just basically allows you to customize classes
Do you think
in a
they're
lot
getting
more ways.
A little bit too confusing? Because the beauty about, excuse me, Call of Duty 4 was the simplicity almost of it. You know, you chose your classes, you created gun attachments, a couple perks,
Yeah, and
and you just played. It was almost arcade-ish a bit.
I kind of understand, because I know when Modern Warfare 3 came out, it was a little overwhelming because, you know, you had to choose these different score streaks and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I think it's good in the long run, or like it is better, but you have to hope these people can adapt to it. So like if it's confusing, I mean, someone's not going to like it, but I mean, just because they don't understand it doesn't mean it's not good.
Mm-hmm. And they did release a Black Ops trailer. Any other trailers they had, or no? Just that one, the multiplayer?
They were doing, the last like official trailer was their multiplayer reveal, as far as I could tell. Everyone's waiting on the zombies information, but I don't think that's coming yet. But they did a lot of live feeds and stuff, so I mean, you can find a lot of, you know, full matches of Black Ops multiplayer and people playing that. So if you want to get an idea of how it plays out, it's all there for you.
And you're pretty excited for this?
I'm pretty excited. I got it pre-ordered. It's the first actual Call of Duty I've pre-ordered.
Well, you did it for Nuketown, right?
Yeah, I did it for
Nuketown.
Nuketown.
That's right, yeah. So go pre-order your Call of Duty. You get Nuketown, future Nuketown. I forget the year, but the
2025, I think it was.
2025.
I think it was something like that.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be that different? I mean,
It's gonna be
The cars are
robots.
gonna
It's
be
it's like,
modern
you
or
know, that
whatever.
episode of The Simpsons where they get the future house.
oh,
It's gonna be like
Uh,
that, but
that's
you
right.
know,
We can't change it too
styled
much, right?
like the old 1950s. The layout of the map,
Yeah.
you know, in general.
and that was a very fun map. We had a
Yeah.
lot of good games on
Yeah.
that one.
Some
There's a
of the
good
best games.
Simpsons episode as well.
All right, moving on. Our next topic is Sleeping Dogs, which is one of the only big games that have come out in the last couple months here. We've had a slow couple months of gaming.
Yeah, I think
Bad
I
time to
actually,
start a podcast, but
I think I read somewhere that like last month was like had the lowest game sales in like 20 years or something. And I don't know whether that's, you know,
These are dark days.
I don't know whether that's like people have
Storm's
less
coming.
money or just nothing was out.
well, that's my problem with those articles like that. It's just like, yeah, nothing came out, so that's why we're having these low
Yeah.
gaming sales.
The highlights are, you know, new Connect games.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. But yeah, Sleeping Dogs. I'm not too familiar with the background about it, but it used to be a true crime, part of the true crime series.
True Crime Streets of Hong Kong, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And then that got, from what I heard, I just kind of skimmed over some articles, but from what I heard, they original studio dropped it. I don't know whether they dropped the franchise, but I know they dropped that particular game. And then I believe it was Square Enix picked it up, and I think it was like 75% done or something like that. It was a good percentage done because we were seeing footage before, and they picked it up, finished it off. I guess kind of integrated their stuff with the old stuff, obviously, and then released it as Sleeping Dogs rather than the True Crime title.
And they turned to be pretty good. If you like open world Grand Theft Auto type games, it's pretty fun. The story is actually pretty good as well. Pretty good for an open world game. Most open world games I don't find have the best story. It's just a big long
Now, like,
jumble of things.
did they cut all ties? Because, like, from what I remember, it was the guy you play in Sleeping Dogs was supposed to be the one from the original True Crime. Did they, like, you know, give him a new name, or do they still make reference to the fact that
Well,
it's
I don't know.
connected
I
to
never
the True
played
Crime
the
series?
first True Crime games.
Definitely cut, I think.
Yeah.
From what I've seen you playing, the original guy wasn't from Hong Kong or whatever. Like, I think the original guy, you playing is now is Asian, is he not?
Yeah.
This other guy was like American because he's
He-
True Crime Streets of L.A. So.
In
Well, I thought
Sleeping
he
Dogs,
was.
He came from L.A.
Oh,
He's
he
a cop-
did.
he's
He
a cop
did
who
actually.
came from L.A. back
They
to
they,
Hong
they
Kong.
probably kept like everything but his name just so they don't have
His
to
name
like
is Wei something.
they
Wei.
just so they have to pay royalties like the original development crew or the writers or whatever.
Yeah, I don't remember the guy's name, but maybe that's probably what's going on then. That's pretty awesome.
He was like born in Hong Kong and was like there for like 4 years, and then they took him to America, something like that.
Okay, see, that's probably the integration.
Does that explain why everybody in the game speaks English?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, but I would recommend it. It's pretty fun. It's getting some decent reviews. IGN gave it something. It was 7.5. Overall, it's getting around 80% of approval, so it's looking pretty good.
Is it multiplayer at all?
No multiplayer.
No multiplayer.
Just straight up story,
Which
single
I love.
campaign.
Yeah,
That's actually good.
I
For
play
an
games for
open
story,
game.
not
Yeah.
multiplayer. So
I'll
Well, I mean,
probably go pick it up.
I feel like any game can incorporate a multiplayer, but you need to make it unique. Like, not every game is going to benefit from just, team deathmatch. You get bored of team deathmatch. You only play that in, like, the best shooters or whatever.
not to put down Uncharted, but I love Uncharted. But their multiplayer isn't necessary. But I guess a lot of people do play it because they keep adding more content to it.
I just like it when they incorporate it into the story, when it makes sense. Yeah. Like if there's an overall plight or war, and the multiplayer is just factions just fighting together.
Would you like it ever to be part of the campaign where you go into a section that's part of the story where you have to play multiplayer? Would you ever like something like that?
No.
No? Why not?
Because I'm in the this applies to me only, not to everybody. But like for me, if I'm playing a game, a single player campaign, like I want to control the elements. I don't want other people in there fucking shit around.
That actually they do kind of integrate multiplayer into Dark Souls single player, because like there's certain items you can get, and to interact with other people in multiplayer, you use these items, and you invade other people's worlds, and how you behave when you invade their world is kind of up to you. Like you can join them and help them defeat bosses, and you get certain rewards for that, or you can join like different factions in the game, and then get rewarded for invading other people's game and killing them and taking their own items.
Wasn't there? What about the not sleeping Watch Dogs from?
Yeah. That's a good.
The very confusing ending.
Yeah, very confusing ending where we were zoomed out and there's another gamer tag on screen watching the main guy.
Multiple gamer tags.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and they said, and then their target was you have to protect him till he gets to his location.
Yeah.
It's like, so were they in that single player campaign the entire time? Were they doing their own thing, or?
I don't know. It seems too big
I'm really
to comprehend.
curious, but I'm also frightened at the same time.
I think it's gonna be good regardless. That trailer was
it
the
looks
biggest
really good,
surprise
but I'm
of
just really,
E3.
really concerned about this thing they're trying.
I really like the Fable 2 system, actually, going back to that. I think it was in Fable 3. I don't remember, but I don't know if anyone remembers, but the orbs system.
Yeah, I remember that.
You'd set yourself to online, and you're playing single player, and you'd see the other players if they
Just
were
like doing their
beside
own
you.
thing.
Well, you wouldn't actually see the player. You would just see their gamer tag kind of floating. It was kind of, you didn't see the person, but you could talk with them. You could trade with them. You could say, hey, man, I need help with this quest. And they can join you, and they're in that part of the story.
But it wouldn't affect your story at all, right?
No, like if they joined in and helped you with the quest, obviously you'd be done the quest in your game,
Yeah.
and you can trade with them, you can talk with them, and you can hear them talking and that. So like people were trading in the main area, but without having to see all the characters all over the place and like maybe like ruining your game by killing your family or something stupid.
That's kind of cool. I would like to see that in like a Fallout game or something. That'd be kind of neat.
That would be awesome,
Because,
actually.
Even like an Elder Scrolls game, because the thing with the Elder Scrolls Online they're talking about is like all the other Elder Scrolls, you're the sole hero. Now there's gonna be a bunch of people doing stuff.
Yeah.
But it'd be kind of cool if they incorporated it like that. You go to a town and there's other people actually playing and you can trade weapons with them and stuff.
Yeah, I
In
think,
like a tavern even,
Yeah.
and then like private games.
I think like the last time I ever played Fable 2, I just joined some like random low levels game and gave him like 10 million, like all my money, which was like $10 million, and then I just never played that game again. I was like, this is my good deed for the day. I'm gonna give some
Wow,
like
that's amazing.
10-year-old a bunch of money.
But it does seem like the Watch Dogs thing is other players are going to affect your story. It almost seems like
Yeah,
you're gonna have to rely on other people to come help you.
yeah.
Which
And
is
that scares the
that
shit
is
out of
kinda
me.
scary.
It's
Probably
like,
turn it
man,
off though,
I
right?
can have so many save files and be backtracking all the way. Like, I don't like what you did. I'm gonna go change that.
Okay, well, yeah. So next up, this probably ties into what we heard at Gamescom. Sony is talking with third-party developers about cross-buy, and what cross-buy basically is, say you buy a PS3 game, you'll get a free copy for your Vita. Because what they're really trying to push with their whole ad campaign about the Vita is like, oh, you play it on your PS3 and you got to go to work or something, and you bring your Vita with you, and you continue your game of MLB right on your Vita. But people didn't want to buy two games for practically the same system, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
No, it's a smart move.
Fantastic idea.
Do you think these
As
third
much
parties
as I
are
hate
gonna?
the
Do
Vita.
you think the third parties are gonna allow this though?
And the price
Absolutely
increase.
not.
As long as I think, if I was a developer, as long as I get reimbursed from Sony or from somebody, I don't care who
Mhm.
it is, whether it's the customer or Sony. So let them do it. I don't care.
Like, I think if you planned a game to be cross-buy, it'd pretty much be a simple port, almost. You know what I mean?
It would have to be, because everything would have to be the same. Like the game
Yeah.
would have to read the same variables in the code and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It'd have to be the same. I think it would work if you had a price increase. So like people who don't want the Vita game should get like your $59.99. People who want the Vita game, like together with the PlayStation, maybe pay $79 or $89.99. So you get a discount on the Vita game pretty much. And if you just want the Vita game, then you get whatever price.
Are they gonna have to ship different packaging though? I mean,
I guess
are
it
they
would
gonna wanna
have
do
to in that case.
It's
But,
sorry, the case is gonna be slightly pixelated from the
Oh,
PS.
yeah.
Slightly slimmed down resolution.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, it would be kind of weird to have, like, if you don't have a Vita, for you to get like your Vita code.
Exactly. Yeah, it'd be a waste. Right?
Yeah. So
And the problem with this is we touched on last week is that the Vita is losing third-party support.
And this is much more reason for them not to,
Yeah.
not to back Vita. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's kind of scary.
but with negotiations and like with Sony being such a large platform, like in incentives, like Adriana was saying, if you get some sort of incentives or reimbursement or whatever, this could work.
Mm-hmm.
Because people might say, hey man, like, you know, you're gonna sell a million units of MotorStorm.
A lot of
Anyway,
motors.
so you're trying to sell, like, you're gonna sell a million of this game, and you're gonna sell 500,000 Vita games. But look at this, you know, we have a demographic of like half these people who have the game also have a Vita, but they only bought one of them.
Yeah.
So you get an extra $20 and you basically sold two.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they kind of market it well, I think it could work. If they kind of play it off to the developers well.
And it would be great for consumers. I'm not sure how much for the developers, but consumers would really grab onto this, and it might increase the sales of the Vita.
Yeah,
Especially with a lot of these great titles coming out. And I think the first one to fully support this cross-buy thing is PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
As well as Sly Cooper coming out.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool too.
this might be only Sony games. I'm kind of afraid of this.
Hmm?
Only the odd Sony game that does this while they introduce this feature, and then it's like, you know, oh, this is awesome feature, and they market it to the public, and then 3 games come out, and they're like, check out these awesome cross-buy games, and then after that, no other ones come out, and they ended up to be 3 Sony games. You know what I mean?
Well, there's at least 2 possibilities coming up. If Ubisoft supports this, they could release Assassin's Creed onto the Vita. They have the Vita Assassin's Creed coming out, as well as Black Ops.
Oh, but the
Oh yeah,
Assassin's Creed games are
yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Assassin's Creed
Forgot
3
about that.
Liberation.
The same with Black Ops too. It's not the same.
It's not the same story.
No. It's declassified.
What are they doing?
I just want the multiplayer. I think it's gonna be awesome
For Black Ops on the
for Black
Vita?
Ops on the Vita. Yeah.
As one of the 3 people I know with a Vita, you're excited for Black
I
Ops.
love it. I love Resistance on that thing, man. Resistance is awesome
Well,
on
yeah,
the Vita.
the same developers who made Resistance are making this Call of Duty title.
Instant purchase.
You
Instant purchase.
There
you,
you go.
you multitask so much. There's gonna be one day where you're gonna be playing Black Ops 2 with us in multiplayer, and I'm gonna see you sitting in a corner, and I'll be like, Matt, what are you doing? You'll be like, oh, I'm playing Declassified on my Vita.
That's gonna be awesome. In between lobbies.
Join the
man.
real world.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Vita does support game chat.
Oh.
No party chat.
Cross game or party chat, so you
The Vita
can
does?
talk while you're in
Yeah.
different games.
It has more RAM than the PS3. Isn't that terrible? That's awful.
But then again, the PS3 is old. You gotta remember this. It's getting old,
Yeah, but I mean,
getting a little wrinkly.
the Xbox came out a year before. Getting wrinkly.
Yeah, yeah.
It's getting gray.
Yeah. Speaking of Sony and the Vita, I didn't put this on the list, but I remember watching this at the Sony conference at Gamescom. They have what is called what was it called again? Do you remember what
No.
something controller. It was something controller. Anyway, it acts like the Wii U. You know the Wii U. You have your
The Move?
huh? No, the move. Let me explain it to you. You have the Wii U, Nintendo's new console coming out. You got your TV, and then you have your separate controller with a screen on it.
Tablet
Yeah.
controller, I'm gonna
Yeah.
call it.
Different stuff appears on there. You can interact. You can move stuff around with a touchscreen. Basically, what Sony's done is done that with the Vita now. They showed it off with Little Big Planet 2.
That's awesome.
So you have your little Sackboy running on the screen. There's an obstacle in the way. You look down on your Vita, and you can actually move like a box out of Sackboy's way, and then keep going.
Is it called Cross Controller?
Cross controller.
Yeah.
That's it.
But like, is this like something like that? Is it gonna get too complicated for your average gamer? A lot of people, for 20, 30 years, people have been playing video games with just a controller, but now they got a controller, TV, look down. It seems like they got to do twice the movements for just as much gameplay.
Well, I mean, do you remember seeing Zombie U at E3?
I did.
Yeah, so I think that's one option that could work. Because you run away from zombies and you got to type in the code on the thing, and the keypad's on your controller.
Yeah, I will admit,
away from your screen. It kind of adds that tension, which is kind of cool.
These are just gimmicks. They're gonna come in for a bit. They're gonna fail, and then they're gonna forget about them. They're gonna go to something else.
Just like the move.
The one
Just
thing
like 3D.
Just like 3D.
yeah.
Poor
The
Sony.
one that really concerns me about like this cross controller thing or those Wii U is you're gonna have like two different contrasts or two different like brightness setups on your two different things.
Oh.
Like on your TV and your controller gonna be like two different color schemes.
The only
Like
thing
no,
good
the
about-
contrast doesn't mix. I have to change that.
I
oh,
think
that would just suck.
people
yeah.
are gonna run out of like unique things to do with the touch screen. I think eventually.
It's just like move control. Like
Yeah.
it's you just do the same thing over and over. Nothing
Yeah, at
really
first you
innovative
think,
at all.
oh, there's got to be so many possibilities, and you just end up coming back to sports games and fitness
Yeah.
games.
Yeah. I just think this is it's kind of weird. Sony's kind of been following Nintendo every step of the way.
And even Microsoft has their, what's it called, Smart Glass? They were,
Yeah, smart
It's the
glass.
same idea.
Kind of doing the same thing.
they're all doing the same idea again.
but there's just like here's information on the movie that you're currently watching, which you should be watching instead of reading information on.
Yeah.
Like,
And
Yeah.
you can control your crazy Xbox dashboard with it.
yeah, it's like I have an app which lets me control my dashboard. now.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're looking at your dashboard, I mean, isn't your controller right next to you too? And I mean, I tried the app, and it's like a couple seconds delay. So I mean, you
Yeah.
switch over a tab, and it's like you click, you wait, it moves. You
And
click,
the app
you wait,
for some
it
reason,
moves.
it's missing a dual button, so you can't actually hit the Xbox home button.
Yeah.
You have to exit, go out. You have to hit B, 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 whatever, or launch something else. And for some reason, DVDs it doesn't work. Like it sees it's there, but every time I try to hit it in a DVD, it says action not available.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
A lot of people were excited
Piece
for
of
the
shit
smart
app.
glass thing too.
The it was a good idea. It's a good move for them to say to have it available on the iPad and the
I think They're
iPhone.
just hedging their bets. I mean,
What?
I think they're just like trying to make sure they win either way.
Yeah, but like because if they wanted to be, stupid about it, they could have said it only works on Microsoft products.
Yeah.
At least they're saying it works on your iPads, it works on your iPhone.
And no one really owns the Microsoft OS on their phone. No one has a Microsoft phone, so maybe they need a bigger demographic,
Yeah.
I guess. Okay, on to the next topic. This is a pretty big topic, I think, myself. We did talk before about Activision being for sale. Now we hear, is this a rumor or is this confirmed?
I don't know. I didn't read the article. I just sent it.
I believe it's confirmed.
Okay, but this is Electronic Arts, EA, is for sale as well.
Let's do it.
You want
you guys want to
There's
pitch in
5 of
$20
us.
each?
Show the button, boys.
Is that
we're
what it's
gonna
worth
buy.
now?
Yeah.
Let me bring up the article.
Yeah, but just what are your basic opinions on this? About
I
this
don't
one
know,
of the,
man.
one of the biggest publishers going for sale.
I think we're kind of at the point now where we're seeing a lot of game companies, development companies, and all that stuff kind of colliding. They're all suing each other. They're all copying each other. They're all supporting each other. Oh, look, we have Android this app and all this. I think a lot of them are kind of at the point where they're like, okay, we don't have the resources or whatever to innovate any further. So our main stockholders, our main owners, whatever, are at the point where they're like, okay, we have this massive company. We're at a standstill. Like our stocks are going up and down, but they're not like sinking. They're not skyrocketing. Okay, let's cash out now, walk away from it, let someone else take the cake, because eventually it's either going to go way up, and I think they think it's at a kind of like a standstill, or it's going to go right down, or they're going to get taken over.
Mm-hmm. And EA's stock did go up 8%, I think, from this news. I don't know, but
I don't know
it
if
did
it's
go up
from the
8%
news.
this
but
like
Over the-
yesterday, I believe.
Over the past year, it's fallen 37%.
EA,
Yeah.
they are known as like the
The
Yeah,
word-
They,
some
they were
stuff
voted
cool.
like the worst company in America,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that probably did a little bit of harm.
Yeah.
I
That can't be
believe-
too good.
I remember you saying that you would never buy. You didn't want to buy an EA title.
I enjoy EA games, but I just don't want to give them my money.
terrible. Yeah, they're not a very good. They're not a very good company in general. Like the first ones to introduce online passes. So there goes your used game market.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't usually have that much money on me, so I'm a big fan of the used games.
Mhm.
And then when, I'm told I can't, play multiplayer with my friends because I bought it used, that's a big bummer to me. But I don't want to dish out an extra $20 to buy new.
Definitely.
What they don't understand too, I think, is every new game can become used, but you can't have a used game first. So it was bought new at some point. You know what I mean?
Getting
Like
into philosophy now.
do you know what I'm saying though, right? Like they can't worry about, oh my God, there's gonna be all these used games and all this stuff. But if there's 3 million used Battlefield 3s, there were 3 million new ones sold.
Yeah, but then if 3 million people bought those used copies, they get none of the money.
Oh, and also, what if you buy new, you sell it to me used, and then I buy an online pass for it, and then I give that same copy to him, and he buys an online pass. Is it the same? Like, does that count as one used copy, or is it going to be counted as 2 used copies?
He
Even though
has
it's
to
one
buy
physical-
another online pass.
So they would see it as 2 used copies, even though it's 1 physical disc.
Yes,
That's kind of
because it's one online. Because the way I understand it is the online pass is attached to like the person, or in this case, the account.
Yeah.
So it would be that's obviously attached to a person. So I mean, I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of it because there's a lot of conflicts where like we're having people having problems where they get it and the code doesn't work, or we get it and
the code's printed crooked.
it's crooked.
It's
Buy a
got
new
weird,
console,
Chinese symbols in
work.
there.
I don't have that character on my. It
Yeah,
says.
So we're not buying
It
EA.
says your EA representative told GameSpot when they inquired about it, "We don't comment on rumors and
The
speculation."
standard
Yeah.
response to most things like this. So
So
it is a rumor.
their machines of executives probably spat that out.
So it still is a rumor then. There's no
Yeah.
validity in this yet.
Yeah. It's probably somebody said something like as a joke and somebody ran with it. That's
Do you
all
think
it
this could also be because, I mean, sure, video game sales have been dropping, but it seems that video games themselves are becoming more popular each year. Do you think other companies are trying to get in on the growing market of video games, and that's why they're like trying to bid for these companies?
I think sales are diluting. The market is starting to shift outwards. So we have these independent companies becoming corporations. Like I realize Mojang, I guess you couldn't say is a corporation, but it's very big. It's like everyone knows what Mojang is. Everyone knows who Notch is. So we're having these companies where everyone's trying to get a piece now. We have big corporations trying to get in. The indie game market is of course massive. So all these sales are being diluted because some people might be like directed away. They're like, I could play Call of Duty, pay that money, or I get bored of that, or I could go play Minecraft, play that with my friends for hours. So it comes down to the fact where right now I think we're in a shift in the market where everyone's going to say, okay, like this guy like got like 10 times more sales than everyone else. He's going to go and engulf everyone. That's why everyone's trying to cash in, I think. I think it's going to have 1 or 2 big companies come out, probably the big 3 again.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have, again, like all these little companies go out. And indie games, I think, you're going to be there to stay because they're independent, obviously.
Yeah. And every year I keep hearing more people talk about indie games. People are bored of the AAA games. They want indie games. But it still like seems like they haven't reached a lot of the mainstream. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like indie
Well,
games.
if they
have
reached
really-
mainstream, they wouldn't be indie anymore.
I mean, I know that's why I'm
True.
just like,
The EA Indie Pack didn't really make much sense to me. Like, I mean, I realized maybe that they didn't really develop it, but they could have. I think they should have called the EA Indie Developer Pack because it was developed by them, but it was published by EA. Technically, it's not really independent at that point.
yeah.
But I mean,
Then like indie games, they don't have their own booths at E3 or anything, do they?
well,
Maybe
Mojang
not.
has Minecon, which is
He has his own con.
which
Yeah.
is and that's just for Minecraft,
Yeah.
and probably he probably has some scroll stuff in there now too or whatever. But I
Mhm.
mean.
And he had an FPS title he was working on too. I think he scrapped though.
I'm not sure. I don't really follow much more than Minecraft, which I think a lot of people don't really follow much more than Minecraft in his
Yeah.
case. But I mean, I know he was working on 2. I think Scrolls is a definite going to be completed though, because that's been talked about for a long time.
All right, so our next topic kind of relates to stuff we've talked about in the past. This is GameStop's digital sales have surged 27%. We've talked a lot about digital games and
The used digital
the
game.
used digital games and that kind of.
Did it hit the marker?
It did. It's still going. We'll see what happens.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Usually it stops.
Are our voices making a spike in the graph?
Hello? Yes. Yeah, they are. They're still good.
Maybe just pushing the marker down.
Hopefully.
All right. Well, you may or may not hear the rest of this podcast.
Yeah, it's been a bad day for podcasting today.
Oh, I've had a horrible day.
I gotta
I
tell
think
you,
it's a
I've
bad
had a
day at
horrible
work
day
today.
as well.
I
Oh
missed
my
a bus.
I
Even-
no.
I
There's-
almost
There's-
like couldn't even make it here.
You guys didn't even tell me all this bad stuff happened.
Oh my god!
I would have postponed the podcast.
I was at work today and I went to go pick up a bag of mulch for a customer. And I don't know if you guys have ever like used granular fertilizer like Scott's or CIL, but if that stuff ever gets wet, it becomes sticky and it reeks like shit. And I got that on me today, like it was all over my shirt and my shorts. I had the stench of shit wherever I went. It was horrible.
Everyone's just giving you the
yeah,
stink
like,
eye.
I had to go in there like stress the point to my coworkers like I have fertilizer on me. That's why I smell like shit.
It's like it's like Georgetown all over again.
Yeah,
right?
Georgetown was horrible. But so I went home and I went in the backyard and just stripped naked. I didn't even bring the clothes inside. It was such a bad. I was so mad.
This podcast just got so much R-rated.
I drove off a hill with a security card and had to get pulled out by a bulldozer.
Okay, yours is worse.
End of story.
Oh my god. Okay. Any
If
other
my
bad
boss
things
is
happen?
listening,
I went to work. but
that wasn't
no.
true. If my boss is listening, that story didn't happen.
Oh, is it?
Shh.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Okay, back on topic. Back to digital sales. As you may know, GameStop does sell DLC at their stores, and I believe they're selling DLG now, digital games, downloadable games.
I think that's confirmed as well. Yeah.
So we're seeing.
Are we going with that? Is that what we're calling it?
Well, I know they
They
have.
call it DLG.
DLG.
Yeah.
Is that? All right.
What do you think this means for the?
I think it's just the kind of old versus new kind of digital games are kind of a new thing.
Yeah.
So as we saw before, nobody wanted to buy anything online when the internet first came out. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, I got to buy
Scary.
retail."
It was scary stuff.
So then now games were always retail. So now we have the retail store kind of like moving in with the next generation, and people who don't want to buy online buy at retail. Then they pay with cash, whatever, and they can go home and just use the same content everyone else uses when they buy them a credit card.
See, I've never really liked digital content. When I buy something, I like to have a physical version of it that I
Couldn't
can be
agree
like,
with you
this
more.
is part of my collection. Because, if you have a big movie collection or something, you got walls of movies, and
Yeah.
everyone goes, oh my god, that person has so much movies. But if you got, 100 movies on your
iTunes,
computer, no
here's
one's going
my
to see.
list of games.
It's a
Look at all
fucking-
these
it's
files
it's
I've
a
got.
thumbnail in some iTunes window.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
I don't even own that. I just rent it permanently according to the license agreement or something stupid like
Yeah.
that.
I think what's leading to this though is a lot of people are used to downloading their content. Apps are huge. People download those. No physical copy there. So I think
I
people are
don't.
just kind of.
Well, we download them
Or
because
you can't download.
well, we don't download them because we can't. But I'm telling you, if I could go physically buy a disc for an app and load it into my iTunes, I would.
Stick it onto your. Okay.
Yeah, I would load it into iTunes and then put it on my iPhone.
And in a follow-up story here, GameStop lets users download DLC at their stores now.
I am really
So maybe-
confused by this.
Maybe that's
So,
adding the 27%. People are like, holy crap, let's.
Someone let me
Let's
know
do
what this is. Like,
It's a really okay. I have an article here actually about this. So basically, it says this is from which website is this? GameIndustry.biz. Basically, they say that the system will send an email after users purchase the content in store, and then by using their smartphone, basically they click on the link. So presumably in the email, obviously, and then users can begin the download process on their consoles.
Okay.
It seems like a waste of time.
This is how I envisioned DLG. That is what we're calling it. I always envisioned that these major companies, so we'll say Steam, Amazon, or whatever other online thing, I envision them having license agreements with the console. So if I go and I load up Dead Space 3 or Dead Space 4, whatever's going to be out at the time, and I say I want to purchase it, then like up on the screen will be, you can purchase from Amazon.com or .ca or Steam or whatever, and then it'll give you like your prices, or you say search for best price or see what other ones are on sale from Amazon from the same developers.
Mhm.
That's how I envisioned it.
Yeah.
Not actually walking to the store, doing the action as if you're buying retail, and then coming home to play a digital copy.
It's almost just why not buy retail, right?
Exactly.
Bypass the whole digital thing.
Yeah.
And I don't understand the email. Why not just give them a code?
It doesn't make any sense.
Well, they say with the smartphone. So what I'm thinking, it says it only currently works with the 360. So I'm thinking it's kind of going with Smart Glass. Maybe I don't know exactly how this works, but I'm presuming that they click on the link,
Stupid
it
glass,
goes through
that's
Smart
what it
Glass, kind of remotes into the console, and then when they get home, it's already downloaded. I guess.
why leave the home?
Yeah, there's no
Download
reason.
the digital.
There's no reason why I should have to leave my house.
Maybe this is
Short of like not having a credit card, like
Yeah.
That's
But
the
not
only
even,
reason to
there's
go
even
to
If
the
you're at
around
the
it,
store.
store,
there's-
then just get
there
the
are-
physical copy.
Yeah, that too. But like even without a credit card too, there's always there's gonna be like reusable Xbox cards, or there's gonna be prepaid credit cards for underage people who can't sign a contract or whatever.
GameStop is, I think, is just maybe trying to move into the new.
I think they're trying to get themselves out of
retail.
Yeah, no, they're trying to keep themselves in business when they know they're gonna eventually be out of business.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to switch to download the GameStop app on your
Yeah,
PS4
I can
or
I
whatever?
can see them becoming a digital distributor. Like I said, when you bring up your distributors, I see Amazon,
Yeah.
iTunes, Steam, whatever, and then you see GameStop, or for us EB Games.
Wouldn't be bad at all.
Yeah, but I don't know why I have to leave and go to.
I think it is just, again, the people are scared of buying it online, despite of all the secure protocols and everything in place. I think that they're just at the point where they're like, okay, the old-fashioned way was to go to the store. They see The Walking Dead on the shelf, but it's just a card. They're like, oh, sweet. They go, I guess they're on the store, and then they go buy it. And they're like, okay, well, I don't want to wait for this to download. And I guess this service is just kind of something easy they can click.
It may be like these game companies are supporting it. Maybe they're thinking, oh, we can save money by just selling digital copies. That way we can get rid of having to, mass produce discs and cases and game manuals and stuff.
But we still have to pay those employees, in which our customers have to go see to get the stuff from, anyways.
Yeah.
And then you got those idiot people who get those cards, those prepaid cards, off the shelf, in which they're activated, and are going to try to steal them anyways. And you're going to have all these empty cards everywhere that they have to be activated at the register.
Maybe they're trying to save paper. Oh, we'll email it to you.
Maybe they're
save-
crazy.
That's a good.
I like that one. We'll go with
that
that.
would make sense. Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to confuse people.
They're doing
They're
a good
like,
job.
That's stupid. I'm just gonna go buy the game. That's how they're staying in business.
Oh, I see.
This seems
Drop
like
the
adding a
mic.
middleman.
Good.
Drop the mic. All right, I think that covers everything on our list. And we're pretty much out of time. This has been a pretty crazy podcast. We had some trouble at the beginning trying to get this rolling.
What time
And-
are we at? How long are we at?
41.
That's about the same as all the other ones, right?
Yeah, the first one was like 30 minutes, and the second one was like 45.
What about the rants?
Oh, that's right.
They're not on my list.
Scroll up, man.
Oh, they're at the top.
Scroll up.
Okay, so we were talking about DLC. Here's a rant here. Free DLC. How do you guys feel about free DLC?
Give us lots of it.
I think maybe initially, they want to make some extra money, charge it. But I think for old games, and I've said this before, for like old games that have been out for a couple of years, start making paid DLC before, make it free. That way you're going to move more game traffic now, because people are going to be like, hey, I could buy this game. And even if they are making you pay for it new, and even if it's a couple of years old, but if you're getting this addition of, well, maybe there's 20 extra hours of free DLC now, that maybe might be more incentive to buy a new old game.
Mm-hmm.
Call of Duty 2 especially, they have all their map packs for still 800 or whatever.
Yeah, no one's going to pay that.
Like, that's too old now.
Yeah, I was. My brother bought. He was at the Zeller's clearance sale, and he bought Fallout 3 for like $20.
Yeah.
And then I said, "You fool!" I went to Best Buy website, $14.99, brand new, had all the DLC included on the
the
disc.
Game of the Year edition.
It's $5 cheaper, and had everything on the disc.
But like
instead
a
of
good
buying it
80
online.
extra hours of content.
Yeah.
This is at their closing sale.
Yeah, he's like, I saw it, I bought it on impulse. I'm like, you jackass. He's like, well, I also bought New Vegas too. I'm like, you would help the situation.
But Mass Effect had a lot of free DLC.
No, they had to after the complaints they got about.
Yeah.
They could not give it away.
I think what's the one that got coming out? What's that called?
Leviathan.
Leviathan. That one's a paid one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, something else. I think because if we have to pay for an online pass, I think we should have more incentive to get a couple free DLCs at least.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, I mean, you get a new game, you have to you have to buy it new. If we're buying it new, at least reward us for not buying it used.
Yeah, I don't have a problem paying for DLC as long as it's worth paying for.
Yeah.
Like for me, if I buy DLC, I go through it. I make sure I get my money's worth of it. Except last time I just did it, which was Assassin's Creed Revelations. I bought the Subject 16, the Lost Archives, bought the thing. Terrible. I bought it, played like 2 seconds of it. I'm like, I hated this part in the actual game, and I paid money. I actually paid money for this thing, so I turned it off and I never played it again. But like, excuse me, there was Oh yeah, as I mentioned on our failed attempt at this podcast, I'm finally about to finish Resident Evil 4 after years of going back to it. And on the on the PS2 copy that I have, it has the what's it called? Separate Ways Ada Wong story, and like I like how they just included that in the PS2 port over, but it like that is so well done and so integrated into the story that I wouldn't mind paying for that.
Mm-hmm.
But like the Assassin's Creed, didn't like it at all.
Yeah. Is that everything?
My opinion on DLC is just I don't think that they should have pay for DLC. When I buy a game on launch day, I come home and it says buy this DLC.
Yeah.
Recently, like especially with like Forza car packs is one example. Like, come on, man. Like,
one of the complaints is that game you finished and then took out to make it DLC.
Yeah, like
My
Mass
biggest
Effect
pet peeve.
3 came out and there was DLC launch day. So I mean, and it came like it wasn't on disc, but I mean it was there.
Yeah, the From Ashes was in the case if you.
Yeah, like it's there, it's done, it's made, but we're only gonna give it to you if you bought our product in advance.
And there was that whole debacle of they did find traces of the code on the actual disc, and people are like, "Oh,
Yeah,
you're gonna pay for stuff that we have."
It's not a thing about space because they couldn't put it on the disc. It's
L.A. Noire had that problem. Their game was way too big. It was already like 3 discs on Xbox.
3 discs on the Xbox One.
And then I think how many stories did they have for DLC? I think it was like 3 or 4 extra cases you could do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 4.
One for each, like
One for each section.
Yeah.
And then there's an exclusive one for PS3. There's actually 5 if you do the PS3 one.
And they said we just couldn't fit those on disc.
yeah,
And people paid for them. I love that game.
yeah. Like
Yeah,
I think
I bought them in the pack at the discount price.
I think that face technology is pretty. Like it looked pretty rough on LA Noire, but I think that's something that should be like invested in for future of gaming.
Well, they got Two Souls, or is it
Oh, I can never remember their names.
Two Souls, Darkness, Two Souls, something like that.
Yeah, Beyond
Two Souls. Beyond Two Souls. They're kind of doing the same thing. They got Ellen Page starring in it. It's pretty much facial recognition. It looks just like the character.
I'm excited for that game.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
One
That's why you
thing-
need a PS3, right?
No, I'm buying. I was waiting for the new one for the XCOM one
Yeah. That's, okay.
or
Yeah.
the Gamescom, but
No
never
luck
came.
there. Yeah. Okay. I think that's it for tonight. In case anything else messes up and goes terribly wrong, but
if we're even recording.
if we're even recording, I don't know anymore. Hopefully, our show will go a lot smoother next week. This is a new podcast. Just keep that in mind. But yeah, check us out. I should be getting a Facebook page done up. You'll be able to track us there and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is TSBB Podcast. You can listen to the first 2 episodes. And
I
that's
actually
it.
have a quick point to add. If you don't mind.
Sure.
Kind of go with the DLC. What about jumping through hoops? About trying to get free stuff. I realized that I really like this phrase. I saw it on a forum. People were saying, especially with Battlefield, why do we have to jump through hoops to get stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I had to sign up for some Battlefield veteran thing, sign up with my old CD keys to Battlefield 2 to get some M1 Grand in one of my other games that ended up not working because they wouldn't verify, but they all like all the games work and all the CD keys work.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like, and that's basically free DLC. Why are game developers making us do all this crazy stuff just to get their content?
We were talking about this with Nuketown before the podcast about the code thing, and you
The
gotta go
DLC
sign up.
waves.
They didn't just give you a card with the code on it.
Nope.
Yeah, you have to register to their website so they can start sending you emails in hopes that you're gonna buy more of their products. That's what I'm guessing is the
It's all
root of it.
It's part of the DLC wave thing too, right? The pre-order wave thing.
Yeah.
And the worst part is though, we're still gonna do it. They're gonna keep doing that. And we're gonna still keep buying.
I did it, and I don't, it's not something I'm happy with. I mean, I'm gonna enjoy the game, but I don't.
They should make it easy if we want people to play their games and buy their DLC. Just make it easy to access it. Doesn't have to be all crazy.
Just like slip a
stuff.
code in there on the game disc.
It's worked for years. Just keep
or just
it.
give it away for free.
Or give it away for free.
Just download this, please, or something. Okay, I'll download that.
Improve
You know?
your public image.
Yeah.
All right.
Yay.
That's big yawn.
That's a big on. Okay, that's it for tonight. Hopefully you'll hear us next week.
I think this is the 3rd time we've tried to end this podcast.
Yeah, so let it end now. It's over. Thank you. Good night.
Pizza.